Despite the slightly dark and gloomy skyline, the Cardiff City Stadium still is a fantastic venue to come and watch football in this part of the world, and it plays host today to two sides that will certainly have a fair bit of a grudge match against each other this afternoon. Bristol City on their travels here, come here looking to continue their push up towards the top end of the Championship table, while Cardiff look to try and just bounce back from the bumps in the road recently. Of course, they will be spirited by the fact that they found a way through the FA Cup fourth round encounter against Stoke City, but that has been certainly a positive on a rather blippy radar with the defeats against Leeds United and, of course, in midweek against Pompey. The Bluebirds would love nothing more than to knock off their rival Robins today on home soil and not only find 3 big points that would move them potentially 5 points clear of the bottom 3, but also just stall the rise up the table of Liam Manning's team. When you look at Cardiff City, Dave Edwards, this is a side that, let's just say, it's been an up and down rollercoaster campaign throughout this year so far.
Yeah, it's been difficult for Cardiff. Had a very streaky season, patches of good form, patches of bad form. Started the season in terrible fashion, and that resulted in their manager Bullock getting the sack. Maritza came in, he's got the job to the end of the season, had a terrific start to his reign, but then struggled towards the back end of 2024. Looked like he had regained some confidence in the team in the new year. Some good results, especially here at the Cardiff City Stadium. The last 2 away results will be worrying as they sit just above that relegation line. And now you get into this important stage of the season where they've made a few additions in January, but it's all about results now. Can they claw their way away from that relegation zone? They'll be looking to do it today here against their rivals Bristol City, but it's a tough ask.
Right, Liam Manning, Maritza has been backed, as you mentioned there, in the transfer window a fair bit. A few new faces joining Cardiff City today. Bristol City haven't necessarily seen that. It's not the largest squad either that we've got in the Sky Bet Championship for the Robins, but they're just finding ways to get results, and others are floundering. They're reasonably consistent at just picking up the points when they need them to stay in this playoff fight.
They're an efficient football team, the way they play. I think they've evolved this season as well. Don't play as much football, playing out the back like they were at the start of the season. They found a way they're a little bit more direct from Max O'Leary in the Bristol City goal, but they play some really nice stuff. Maybe want a few more additions in January. It wasn't to be, but they'll fancy their chances to make this late playoff charge and get themselves in that playoff picture come the end of the season.
It's just a spit of land and the Severn Estuary that separate the Bluebirds and the Robins, but there's a huge gulf in the Sky Bet Championship table between these two local rivals. Bristol City have crossed the bridge into South Wales with more than just a spring in their step as they look to cross over the gap into the top 6 come the end of the day. So just a win away from the playoff spots. Cardiff, however, are starting a far more daunting prospect of the fight for survival, slowly getting bigger in the rear-view mirror. 2 points off the bottom 3 and falling in midweek. Things need to pick up for Omar Reese's side. Cardiff make 4 changes from the midweek loss to Portsmouth. That has done the Bluebirds 0 favours in terms of keeping enough teams between them and the relegation zone. Will Fish, Callum Chambers, Joe Rawls and Kian Ashford are replaced by the returning to fitness Perry and G, the 2-goal hero from the FA Cup win a week ago, Ruben Colwill, and 2 new faces to flank Callum Robinson in the form of Anwar El Ghazi and new signing Will Alves, who joined the Irish forward in the front line. Omar Reeser is back on the touchline as well after his sending off in the South Wales derby against Swansea. Only he really knows exactly how this starting 11 will look in terms of formation. It's a little more simple for Liam Manning's Bristol City as the Robins boss keeps the same starting 11 that won in midweek against Stoke City to move them within touching distance of the top 6. It's a welcome return to the score sheet for Anis Mehmeti on Wednesday as he moved into double digits for his goal tally this season with the brace against the Potters. Sinclair Armstrong will lead the attack once again with Nahki Wells on the bench. The 21-year-old has found the back of the net just once in his last 14 league appearances. Chance for Liam Manning and Maritza to shake hands before kick-off, and Maritza just very happy to be back down on the touchline after serving that 3-match ban up in the stands. Captains meeting in the middle, Jason Knight wearing the armband for the visitors. Jack Anick wearing it for Cardiff City between the posts today. Dave, you've got your eye on a couple of key protagonists for this encounter today. One man who has been so versatile this season is Andy Rinomhota, who has pretty much played wherever he's needed this season. He'll be hoping to stay out of the naughty book of Tony Harrington, but he can be a really industrious midfielder.
Yeah, versatility, the key word. He's a player who will always give his all, very professional, someone I played with when I was at Reading, but he's played a lot of right back. He's naturally a midfielder. He's done well at right back, maybe back in the middle of the park today, we expect. They need his legs in there, in particular, to protect that back four. And to protect themselves from this man here, Mehmeti, who's having his best season in a Bristol City shirt, scored over a quarter of Bristol City's championship goals. And you look at him on that left-hand side, drifting in onto that right foot, looking to get shots and passes away. It's been a real threat, and what a season he's having.
Everybody in the Sky Bet Championship well aware of what Anis Mehmeti can do as Cardiff City get us off and underway, playing from left to right on your screen in the blue shirts, white shorts and blue socks. Bristol City in their chain strip, the almost creamy shirt with the maroon shorts and creamy socks, playing from right to left. It is a Bristol City side then that will certainly fancy their chances on their travels, albeit Cardiff's best form of the season have come at home in this campaign for the large part. It's the away form that has certainly been struggling, buoyed on by what is always a rather boisterous support here at the Cardiff City Stadium. The Bluebirds will fancy their chances of getting one over their rivals.
I've not always been able to say that in recent years either. Cardiff City performing well away from home in more recent seasons, but they're definitely picking up their form at this Cardiff City Stadium.
O'Dowda, first chance for him to push forward and try and threaten the goal as he fires it towards that far post. It certainly looked on target. I know Anwar El Ghazi was lurking, but Callum O'Dowda keen to get down that left side whenever possible.
Yeah, absolutely. Forceful running from O'Dowda on that left-hand side. Got himself half a yard. Didn't quite get the power on the shot, but the intent was there from Cardiff. Started brightly.
Had his name on the score sheet in midweek, of course, against Portsmouth in that defeat. Not coming and dealing with the danger. There was certainly a word from Dimitrios Goutas, the centre-back, to his goalkeeper, expecting him to come and collect it. Never happened. The big problem, I suppose, for Cardiff in that loss to Portsmouth, they were 2-0 down after 17 minutes. When you dig yourself into a hole that quickly, it's difficult to find your way back.
Yeah, absolutely. Gives yourself an uphill climb right from the start, but you can see the way they've started this afternoon, they're wanting to get on the front foot.
Some defending to do here, though, as it's allowed to bounce right on the edge of the 18-yard box, but the hosts will try and bring it away out of trouble. It's well played by Colwill. Superb against Stoke City in that FA Cup encounter that finished 3-3 in the end. He had 2 for himself. Also scored the winning penalty in the penalty shootout. It's a long, leggy afternoon, though, for Cardiff City and their players, albeit Omer Ritza made a lot of changes for that FA Cup tie. There will be a few that will be feeling the strain at this point in the campaign. Sykes. It's well held off by Perry and G, a man who is back in the starting 11 once again today. It's been a bit of a rough winter with that knock in December that's just kept him out of the starting formation and in and out the side a fair bit over the last couple of months.
Excellent tenacity there from Perry and G. Got himself between Sykes and the ball. Took a little bit of pressure off his side. Maybe looking to slip back into that right back role, make it his own for the rest of the season. Say, Andy Rinomhota's been deputising in that position, has done extremely well, but Perry and G will feel that he should be Omer Ritza's #1 right back.
Goutas clears. Head tennis breaking out as O'Dowda does the dirty work and just moves it forward with the noggin. Callum Robinson chasing that one down. Does look like it's that back four with O'Dowda playing left back and G playing right back, and Bagan and Goutas in the centre. We were even seeing possible chances of 3 at the back with 5 in midfield, or a 3-4-3 for Cardiff at one point when the starting 11 was named by Omer Ritza at 2 o'clock. It took us about 45 minutes before kick-off just to work out exactly what formation we thought they were going to be in. I have to say that David Edwards got it right.
To say, after much deliberation, I'm glad to see they've lined up how we thought they would. I think Andy Rinomhota's key to that in that midfield area. He brings some legs in there. Since Siopis left in that January transfer window. It's maybe an area they've lacked. Callum Chambers and Joe Ralls both missing this afternoon. So his experience plus that athleticism is going to be key for Cardiff, especially with the two number 10s, Mehmeti and Twine, playing in the positions they do for Bristol City. The central midfield pairing of Cardiff will have to be on their toes.
Sinclair Armstrong just coming deep to get a touch and get involved inside these first 5 minutes. Well worked into a small pocket of space for Jason Knight, although that collapses on him almost immediately. El Ghazi just can't feed it through. Minamoto can't break up the play completely as Bristol City keep possession here. Knight. Sykes round the corner, Armstrong clattered, no free kick given.
Yeah, one subtle change from Bristol City. Sykes has started on this left-hand side. It was Ross McCrory who started in the last game on that left-hand side in the absence of some injured players. Cameron Pring's been out for a while, but then also McNally, who's played left-side centre-back, is now out for the season. But Sykes is the one who's taken on that left-side role today.
Alves on the far side of the field. He's an absolute trickster. He's created some space to find Robinson. And some freestyle football competitions back in the day, Will Alves, including one that certainly shot him to a fair bit of stardom at one point. It's interesting to see if the tricks and flicks will translate into Sky Bet Championship football for the remainder of this season, on loan from Leicester City, of course.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see how he does. He'll really hold his whip on that left-hand side, then look to drive at the full-back. So he's got all the tricks, but it's another thing doing it in the Championship and able to deliver. He showed good signs in the FA Cup game against Stoke when he came on late on in that game. Had some end product, getting crosses in, got a couple of shots away as well. These Cardiff fans are excited.
Scott Twine just leisurely closing down there as still forces Cardiff to be playing out from their own 18-yard box, but the initiative taken by Sivert Mansvert. One of the January signings, of course, in the starting 11 today, on loan from Ajax. Put in a good shift in the middle of the park. Very much a holding midfielder, Mansvert. What we've seen so far is what you'd expect from that position.
He's important when they have the ball at the back, Cardiff. He's the man who's going to link play, try and get on the half turn and move the ball forward. Bristol City very patient in that 3-4-3 shape. One loose pass and they'll latch onto it. They press extremely well. We saw that in their victory against Stoke in midweek, the amount of times they won the ball high up the pitch. But at the moment, Cardiff looking controlled.
Lovely touch by Ruben Colwill. Brings some coos from the supporters. What can Robinson do? Try to force it, but straight off the legs of Zach Viner, ricocheting away to safety.
And when Cardiff are patient like they are then that allows Ruben Colwill to find pockets of space. Lovely quick feet. We know he's got this ability. We want to see it more often. Good quality pass as well into Robinson. Maybe should have looked to go wide to Will Alves and get himself in the box. Took the shot on. And the attack, unfortunately for Cardiff, goes away.
So replay Max Bird won't want to see too many more times. Minamoto down, free kick. A chance perhaps for some of the bigger bodies to come forward, make their way to the edge of the area. Positive start this inside the 10 minutes from Cardiff. There's plenty of them just crowding almost in line with that far post. Ghazi will deliver. towards Goutas, who got the head on it. It's a fantastic defensive header from the Cardiff defender. It's just gone completely the wrong way to help his side out in their attempts to try and break the deadlock.
Yeah, he found himself some space in the box, got his head to the ball, but he was just ahead of play a little bit and couldn't direct it back towards goal. Ended up being an excellent clearance by the centre-back.
This one might run here for El Ghazi. Flag's going to go up. Just wonder if he was given almost too much space.
He attacks the ball really well, Goutas. We've seen that already this season. Good delivery into the box as well. Just the timing of it was just wrong.
And when you're fighting down towards the bottom of the championship table as well, moments like having good deliveries consistently from set pieces can really be game changers for you. El Ghazi's got that in spades if he's on song today.
Yeah, with the likes of Goutas, he scored a crashing header in the South Wales derby against Swansea, so we know he can do that. And someone that Bristol City would have to watch closely.
Considering that Omer Risa feels far more at home on the touchline after serving those 3 games in the stands for what happened in that South Wales derby, he's already looking a little agitated down there in the technical area. I like leading from the touchline, it's who I am. The Cardiff boss's words coming into today. I have to say, the last 3 games when we've seen him up in the stands, he's been hunkered down into a coat, almost trying to hide away. Didn't look a happy man at all. It's just nobody making the run there for Robinson, who was half expecting Colwill to break into that space down the sideline. Alves gives it inside. Mansfield. Colwill continuing. Looks like he might be going down on a bit of a dead end, but he gets the ball in anyway. Easy collection for the goalkeeper in the end, Max O'Leary.
Yeah, more impressive play though from Cardiff, in particular in that midfield area. Mansfield making a real impression early on in this game. Colwill's finding a lot of space when he picks up the ball. On this occasion, drives to the touchline, gets a cross in. Cardiff be disappointed that no one really made a run in the box. Robinson was on his heels. El Ghazi from the far side never really committed to it. Omar Rees will be delighted with the way his team are handling the ball more than anything in these opening 12 minutes.
It's called by some a bit of a make or break year for Rubin Colwill this season. He's always been considered a player with such natural ability. It's just getting it out of him consistently maybe that's been a bit of a problem. It's a nice ball by Sykes into the channel. Twine with the pullback. Too many blue shirts inside the area makes it a comfortable clearance. And that was very neat by Perry and G as well to find El Ghazi. Room for El Ghazi to bring it under control. O'Dowda. The feeling that was what Bristol City were hoping for, putting that pressure on and leading to a slightly errant clearance, but comes straight back the other way to Jack Anik, which is frustrating, I imagine, for the likes of Sinclair Armstrong. They're doing a lot of ball watching right now.
Yeah, they haven't been able to lay a glove really on Cardiff as they're building out. So Cardiff have been neat and tidy, but Bristol aren't committing early. They're just waiting for a mistake. But at the moment, there has been no mistakes for them to really go and try and win that ball back.
Mansverk doing the dirty work. Couldn't be brought under control though by Colwill. There's some room on this near side for Sykes. Needs some support. Viner will switch it across. Robinson just keeping that back line honest in possession. Alves taking a leaf out of Robinson's book there, just putting Viner under pressure.
Yeah, there's a little bit more intensity in the way Cardiff are going about pressing the ball. Bristol not allowed to really settle down on it. They want that time and space, then they want to try and get it into Mehmeti, and Twine are very clever at picking up the pockets, but this moment in time, haven't been able to get those two playmakers on the ball enough.
Does it change and add perhaps having him back on the sideline? It allows him to get that extra intensity off the ball, Maritza, as compared to when he's in the stands watching on from high?
Yeah, absolutely. Makes a huge difference as a player when the manager's there on the touchline, especially someone of his character. When I look back at some of my old managers, in particular likes of Mick McCarthy, just his presence on the sideline, that really adds a little bit more emotion to your game, intensity if he's there screaming at you. And I feel that Omar Rees is a similar sort of character. You do get a lot of quieter managers who are a lot more methodical in the way they're thinking, but when you do get a manager who's a bit more vocal, it definitely has an impression on the players.
A warm ripple of cheers from the travelling supporters as Alec played that straight out of play. That's about all they've had to cheer about so far, though, the travelling supporters. Space for Bird. Threads it to Armstrong. It's an important touch to get it away from the centre forward. Mehmeti quick as a flash, trying to pounce on that loose ball, but just for a second it looked like Sinclair Armstrong was in behind that defence. No messing around either from the away side. First real chance for Mehmeti to get involved going forward. Slightly wayward delivery. Roberts. Oh, like it came off an arm. Cardiff will keep possession with the throw anyway. There's that intensity.
You'll be feeling relieved to be down there, being able to get your message on directly. A lot more difficult when you're in the stands. Trying to go get the messages through your staff to the players.
The message is get it into the path of Sinclair Armstrong. Looking to take on Gutas. He just slips as he strikes it, almost found the intended target anyway. Couple of chances now though for Armstrong to get in behind that Cardiff defence. Utilise that pace that was so evident, of course, and this time at Queen's Park Rangers they used it so well late on in games. That one's going to race away from Mehmeti, however.
Yeah, Sinclair Armstrong can really stretch the play, try and force Cardiff's backline just to drop a little bit deeper. Then all of a sudden there'll be bigger gaps that start to appear for Scott Twine, for Mehmeti to pick up the ball. It's been a better spell of possession for Bristol City, without creating anything of any note, but a little bit more control. But in particular, if you can get that front three working, almost on opposites, get Sinclair Armstrong going one way, Twine and Mehmeti the other. It's really hard for the opposition to mark.
Alves plays it inside. O'Dowd has continued his run. It's just not quite in front of him from Robinson. Need to make sure they get some cover back as well for O'Dowd, because the last person you want to give time and space on that far side of the field is Mehmeti, as he just can't find Sinclair Armstrong. XG continuing. Robinson. Colwill wanted it back. They go across to that left flank. Mansvert. Good piece of control that by El Ghazi, but again the pass was just a little difficult perhaps with the bounce.
A terrific crossfield ball though from Mansvert, being super impressive in this game so far. His short passing, the way he's linked play, but then he has that ability to switch play like we saw on that occasion. He's getting a lot of time in the middle of that midfield for Cardiff, dictating play, and in turn it's affecting where Colwill can pick up the ball, where Alves can pick up the ball, that big switch to El Ghazi.
So he's always wanted to test himself in English football, but has also recognised that it's a big challenge being here and playing in the Sky Bet Championship.
He certainly has the profile for it. Physical, rangy midfielder, but very calm on the ball. You can see nothing really worries him too much emotionally with the tempo that's involved in the Championship. Seems to have the temperament to be able to handle the ball.
Knight. Bit of space here for Twine. Just shoved down by Rinomhota, who will perhaps receive a bit of wrath from Scott Twine. Certainly the official will, with the frustration that a free kick wasn't given. Can kind of understand where the Bristol City player's coming from there.
Yes, frustration is going to get him in a bit of trouble, and this is the first time that Scott Twine's managed to find that pocket of space, receives it on the half turn. He feels if he pushes the ball in front of Andy Rinomhota, then the Cardiff midfield is going to have to bring him down. He felt the contact. Did he go down a little bit easy? We'll see here. Just moves in front of him, gets his body between him, and there is a nudge in the back. You see the disappointment from Twine. Could have quite easily been a foul, maybe should have been a foul. Very similar happens to Andy Rinomhota, and he does get the foul for it. So you can understand the frustration from Scott Twine.
I was wondering when a bit of edge might come out between these two sides. It's been very well tempered and very good-natured between them so far in the first 20 minutes. That might just be a little bit of needle that starts to give this game a bit more of an edge. Twine going in the book as well. We'll just have to be careful. Somehow that's kicked in by Sinclair Armstrong. A few groans of frustration there at the misplaced pass. Mansvert. Robinson looking for options. O'Dowda trying to make himself one of them. Into the youngster Alves. Robinson's just positioned himself on the top of the box now. This trio continue to play. Try and find a way out from that far side of the field. It's backwards rather than forwards. It's a good turn by Colwill, caught from behind. Referee's having none of it for the moment. Cardiff keep possession. Colwill again. He can strike them from the edge of the box, that's for sure. Never really fancied it on the right boot, though. It's asking a lot of Rinomhota to get there too.
Yeah, has to take on the shot there, Ruben Colwill. Maybe his touch just got ahead of him a little bit. That made him think that he needed to try and do something else with it. It's still there to hit. He's still in the Bristol City box. Good build-up play again from Cardiff. Patient in the way they're going about their business, but unable to really create anything of any note. And that was probably their best opportunity to test Max O'Leary in that Bristol City goal, but the chance just goes away once again.
Just a wry smile from Callum O'Dowda there. He knew he was taking a fair bit of time with that throw-in. The idea is there to get it quickly to El Ghazi, just not the execution from Robinson. Sykes wanted the return pass. Alves just can't bring it under control. That one's behind Mehmeti and out of play from Twine. Just to get another half moment where Twine can get that out to Mehmeti or he brings it under control. He's got a bit of room around the top of the box there. Been few and far between so far though for Bristol City.
Yeah, they haven't really been able to stamp any sort of authority on the game as of yet. I don't think those Bristol City fans will be happy that Cardiff haven't been able to take advantage of the lack of control that Bristol City have had in this game. Both teams need to do more from an attacking point of view, though. Nothing to test any goalkeeper yet.
Armstrong's trying to test the defensive fortitude of Joel Bagan and Callum O'Dowda all at once. He likes to be breaking into space, breaking in behind when it gets crowded like this. Doesn't necessarily play into Sinclair Armstrong's skill set too much.
No, when the build-up's slow, then all of a sudden the space becomes smaller and smaller that he can operate in. Sinclair Armstrong is best in the transition. If Bristol City can win the ball back and feed it into those channels nice and early, that's where they're going to get the best out of him. But at the moment, the striker's not had a lot to go on.
There's Nahki Wells on the bench, of course, who had a bit of a goal-scoring spurt in terms of a couple of goals in back-to-back games in the last month or so against Sheffield Wednesday and Blackburn Rovers. An option to be used for later, for sure, for Liam Manning, if his side do want to try and find 3 points and force their way into the top 6 come the end of today. Flag raised on the far side of the field, which will frustrate Twine and Armstrong to no end. Switch of the play out to this near side. El Ghazi brings it down and it was bouncing there to be struck. Just rifled it straight into the arms of O'Leary.
Yeah, crossfield ball, good strength from El Ghazi. It sat up really nice for him to hit, didn't it? Good technique as well from El Ghazi. Straight at Max O'Leary. Comfortable for the goalkeeper, strikes it true, cuts across it. Takes it towards Max O'Leary, safe hands. But we've had a shot.
Something to hang your hat on in terms of the half-time analysis there, Dave, that's for sure. What's the reply from Bristol City with Sykes? Trying to find that diagonal run of Armstrong. It's a very small window to play it into, though. Mansvert gets it away. Almost feels like a game that is going the way that Cardiff would have wanted it to have gone so far. It's broken up and stifled slightly. Twine just needs to be careful with a challenge like that. But Cardiff aren't having to be rushed. They're not leaving themselves exposed. The counter-attack hasn't really been on so far in the first half an hour for Bristol City, which we've touched on already is good with the pace. It's just kind of running along smoothly without any danger at the back defensively for the hosts.
Yeah, Bristol City, after such an impressive display without the ball against Stoke, they won the ball back so many times high up the pitch. That intensity isn't there this afternoon. They've had a day's less rest than what Cardiff have. Only played on Wednesday night, Bristol City. Maybe that plays into it because he's picked the same team and the manager Liam Manning. They're just lacking that sharpness. And as a player, you play on a Wednesday night, comes to Saturday, you tell the manager you're fine, your legs are starting to feel fine, but sometimes, especially the early games as well, that sharpness just isn't quite there. And at the moment, they'll feel fortunate that Cardiff haven't been able to take advantage of it. You expect Bristol City to get better, and you expect them to look at the bench as well in the second half.
Bagan. Robinson coming very deep indeed. Mansverk. No doubt of making the run once more on the far side. So very clustered, but they find it into the feet of Will Alves. There's nowhere to go between he and Zach Viner and the sideline, though. Well worked by O'Dowda in the end, back to Rinomhota. Alves keeps his feet and keeps possession. Mansverk. More of a stretch, that one, for the young man. Met in rather robust fashion by Ross McCrory. Dowda launches it in, trying to test his former team's defensive efforts. Nothing comes from it. Now this is where Armstrong wants to collect the ball. Positions like this, two defenders in front of him. There's not much support coming. It's Ng's getting back too. Armstrong trying to go the long way round and almost got there. Anik diving out at the feet of the forward. But certainly Sinclair Armstrong fancying his chances in a foot race against Goutas.
Yeah, that pace of Sinclair Armstrong frightened the life out of that Cardiff City defence. Perry Ng initially does well to get back to try and help Goutas at that right centre-back position, but just this big touch. He has no right to get on the end of this, Sinclair Armstrong. He has to go the long way around, but he gets there. Jak Alnwick, good starting position, gets himself out quickly, makes sure that he gets a good enough contact on the ball. It's excellent goalkeeping, but that raw pace from Sinclair Armstrong, that's what Bristol City need to try and use more, and it comes from winning the ball back and having grass for Sinclair Armstrong to run into and go in quickly.
Well, and it was frustrated that the corner was given, and Armstrong was frustrated that a penalty wasn't given because he felt he was brought down before Alnwick took the ball. Probably the most relieved man is Dimitris Goutas. Set piece comes in, headed away at the near post. Twine collects. Back again with Bird. Sykes stumbling around. Back to the midfielder. Viner under pressure, didn't like his options initially, but he's done well to stay composed and find Sykes. Roberts trying to send that early ball in. It's out for a throw. A spark of life suddenly from the Robin Soap. That ball's just going to hold up nicely. Back to Sykes. And G's brought down, and that'll be a free kick, and that will end the pressure. Best spell of the game so far, though, for the away side.
Yeah, certainly is their best spell. Managed to maintain an attack for a sustained period of time. Just the difference there of having a right footer on that left-hand side. He got touched back to him, a left foot would come onto it and put a ball into the box. Sykes comes back on his right foot, and Perry Ng's had a terrific first half. Once again, 1v1 defending shows how good he can be. And not only wins the ball, wins himself a foul.
Taken in stride by Mansverk. Gets the free kick. He feels a card should be coming out here too. I think he's going to get what he wants.
Yeah, he's been the best player on the pitch in this first half, Mansverk. showed every aspect of his game. This is his strong running, latches onto that loose ball, long stride, draws McCrory into the tackle, he gets a book in. A more impressive play from Cardiff central midfielder.
Well, Ghazi put in a beautiful ball earlier in this first half at the head of Dimitris Gutas. Expect perhaps a similar connection. Floated in this time, trying to drop it into that space, so Dowda sends it back into the danger zone. Berg gets it away. Now it's being held up by Mehmeti. That's why they're quite excited to see what this young man can do. He's able to hold off the more experienced player and find a way to get that delivery in. Free kick is given, however, and Bristol City have a set piece. They want to get on with it quickly, certainly Armstrong did. An injury's just going to pull it back.
Yeah, forceful challenge from Mansverk as it's cleared there. Yeah, definitely a foul. There's a booking as well. Strong tackle. Was late.
He was trying to get to the ball, but very much going through the man as he did so. Fairly reckless in the air, Sibat Mansverk. Bird. Knight. So many blue shirts behind the ball, although Sykes finds some space. Again, it's always looking to go inside. Right on the edge of the area. Bagan getting in the way. Took a blow, I think, to the side of the face more than anything else, but it might have been an important stop.
Yeah, Knight managed to work it onto that right foot. Goes for power. Good block from Bagan. You see Alves there, lovely balance then to win his side a foul. Scott Twine feeds inside, lovely little turn from Knight just to get himself away from Mansverk. The strike is strong, but keeps his arms close to his body, Bagan. Good block.
It's a head rattler still. Certainly hit with plenty of venom from Jason Knight. Hasn't been exactly renowned for goal scoring. 5 assists though in the league this season has been mightily impressive from his point of view. Armstrong being pulled back, free kick. Gutas staying more than just touch tight. Varner under pressure, just backpedaling. Robinson got in his face. I'll say that while we haven't got any goals here in the Sky Bet Championship, there aren't any others elsewhere around the league, so nothing else is being missed, even if the lack of chances is maybe just frustrating more of the travelling supporters than anything else. They've not been a great side defensively in Cardiff City this season, so there's plenty of hope still that Bristol can open them up at some point this afternoon. 5 minutes ago, just over that, before the break. Rinomhota. Bundled over. There's a nice air of chippiness, at least, about this game that certainly highlights the rivalry that these two clubs have.
Yeah, there is. A few challenges now. Starting to show a little bit of emotion, frustration. Both teams will want to finish this half strongly, though. Get into the break as the team on top.
Ghazi looks to be the provider. Mansverk didn't go and collect that. Instead, he's allowed Ross McCrory just to jog out, almost uncontested, to pick up the pieces.
Cardiff's home form has been better this season. You look back at their last derby against Swansea, they finished the first half extremely strong, although it was still 0-0. That gave them some real confidence coming out for that second half, where they had an unbelievable 10 minutes to go and take the game away from their rivals. I'm sure Omar Rees will be hoping they can finish this half in the same sort of vein.
It's been very one or the other here at the Cardiff City Stadium for Cardiff this year. They don't draw many, but also lost the second most number of games on home soil. Only Hull have lost more games away from on home soil this season, excuse me, in the Championship. 6 wins have done a world of good in terms of plenty of points as Armstrong's bundled over. And the grittiness just continues, and that's something that Dimitris Koutas will certainly not want for the second half, with Sinclair Armstrong running at him and him carrying a yellow card.
No, that yellow card will put a lot of doubt now in Koutas' mind. You can see he wants to get tight, wants to get physical with Sinclair Armstrong, but as soon as he gets rolled, then he has to make the foul with all that space for him to run into. And now for Bristol City, can they get Sinclair Armstrong up against Koutas as many times as possible, keep feeding the ball into that channel and try and make the defender make another mistake.
Just come down at the feet here of Twine, but again, he's got the runners just in front of him, but he hasn't got the possession right down under control. Sykes. All crowded out. Ghazi and Rinomhota. Oh, it's given away by Ng. Shout for handball, but play continues. Armstrong. Twine. He's got the runners to his right. Back with the number 10. Knight trying to work his way through, but again, he's just not got the pace to be able to get to that pass.
And lots of bodies from Cardiff in the middle of the pitch. It's really frustrating. Bristol City still continue to try and play through the middle of them, but getting no joy. And Cardiff will be delighted because they conceded a lot of goals this season. There's only Portsmouth who have conceded more, but they've looked very much in control from a defensive point of view. But now it's the point, do they try and stick or twist? Do they go for that winning goal and open themselves up?
Sykes shoots straight down the throat of the goalkeeper. Certainly something that Alnwick had to at least think about and see into his hands safely.
And that's the first time Cardiff have been sloppy in possession, gift it to Bristol City. Bird gets it to Sykes, takes the early shot on, scored from a similar area against Oxford with a well-worked free kick where he whipped it back towards that near post. On this occasion, too close to Alnwick.
Armstrong. Now some space perhaps the away side can use. They've been smothered in the final third all day so far, and that one ricochets behind for a corner. Is there a last burst of hope right at the end of this opening 45 minutes?
Well, Mehmeti is certainly a player who hasn't been involved as much as what he would have liked. Picks up the ball on this occasion, drives for that Cardiff City backline, shifts it onto that left foot, gets his half a yard, but he's just leaning back when he hit it, couldn't get any power, but it's an opportunity now, just before the break, for Bristol City to put a good ball into the box and try and test this Cardiff backline.
And they go short. Mehmeti can't do anything with it. Well watched by Callum Robinson and cleared away. 1 minute of stoppage time to play at the end of this first half here. Almost played 30 seconds of it. Mehmeti. Bird inside. Bit of space here for Jason Knight. That was far too close to the goalkeeper, as there are 4 Bristol City shirts waiting in the area, and Mehmeti just doesn't come close to finding any of them. And that will be it for opening 45 minutes here at the Cardiff City Stadium, that has seen very little action in terms of going forward in front of goal. Sinclair Armstrong has had one burst into space that certainly was nervy for Demetrius Goutas. Jack Hannock eventually falling at the feet of the forward to clear the ball away and behind for a corner. As for Cardiff going the other way, well, there have been small moments for Callum Robinson, Ruben Colwill and co, but none of them have really forced any testing saves for Max O'Leary between the Bristol City posts. It's been a bitty afternoon so far. Can only get better in the second 45 minutes, that's for sure. Here at the Cardiff City Stadium, though, it's Cardiff City 0, Bristol City 0. Well, half-time here at the Cardiff City Stadium. Wait for the breakthrough, and we wait to see what changes perhaps will come from Omarita and Liam Manning at the half-time break, or perhaps just after, if a reshuffle of the deck is what's needed, or if perhaps either one of these managers has seen enough that they're actually quite content with how this game is playing out. Considering some of the woes recently for Cardiff City, there'll be a fair few that won't be too displeased, particularly the home supporters, with a point against a rival that is certainly trying to charge up the second tier of English football's table. And just confirmed, by the way, discussing in the break the latest score between Oxford United in the Sky Bet Championship today, and that's a latest score against Portsmouth because there was a medical emergency in the stands that had to be dealt with. That has now been dealt with. The supporter is, according to the club's social media account, is breathing and being taken away for further medical rest and treatment. And rather unfortunate scenario that has just delayed that game between Oxford and Portsmouth for a few minutes. They've only played half an hour there. But here at the Cardiff City Stadium, attention has to turn to the second half now. Dave Edwards, it's safe to say that neither of us have been too excited by what we've seen going forward. When you look at both of these two sides, though, Cardiff have got a lot of players on this starting 11 that can create, and they've got some willing players potentially that can step in off the bench. I mean, the likes of Aaron Ramsey just coming back, obviously back to fitness after being out for a number of months. A player like him can step into a central midfield role in this game and start to pull the strings if needed for the Bluebirds.
Absolutely. Both teams have lots of quality on the bench. Players who can make a difference. And Aaron Ramsey, in particular, is such a talented footballer, and he can do that one thing which only the best players can do, and that is create stuff out of nothing. He's lucky enough to play for many years with Aaron Ramsey through the Welsh setup, and he's a wonderful, wonderful talent. And you can give him the ball in dangerous areas, then he will make something happen. At the moment, both teams could do with that, and it's an opportunity for both teams to really push on up the league. Both teams, really, a draw isn't the best result. Both teams will need to win. Bristol City want to get themselves into that top 6. Cardiff want to pull themselves away from that relegation zone. And it looks like Liam Manning is going to be the first one to make some switches.
You can see Hirakawa just down there, and Sam Bell as well getting set to come on. So the dice is going to be rolled by Liam Manning. He's not seen enough perhaps out of his side today. Sykes is the one who is going to make his way off for Sam Bell. It's a winger on that sideline that will have a bit more of a natural talent with the left boot. Hirakawa is going to be replacing Scott Twine, who was booked in the opening 45 minutes. Rather agitated figure, certainly in the first 20 minutes or so. We'll see what impact those changes have at the start of this second period. So it's the away side to make two changes as they try to change the score sheet and get us underway for this second period, playing from left to right. Cardiff in their blue shirts playing from right to left. Straight away, Hirakawa with the ball into Armstrong. And the Japanese midfielder trying to make an immediate impact off the bench with his first touch. It wasn't a bad dink either into the forward.
You know, there's some intention there right from the start from Bristol City, going long, going in behind. Hirakawa gets that touch, and just for a moment you feel that Sinclair Armstrong has enough space to get a shot away, but in the end Cardiff do just enough to put him off.
The club has been having discussions with players and those involved in football back in Japan just to help with translation for Yu Hirakawa in his early time, obviously on loan here at Bristol City. They want to make sure that they get the wording and translation correct so that he understands the style of football that the club want to see from him. Certainly an extra effort that you hear more and more about from teams up and down the EFL.
I was just wondering how they would set up, what the personnel change would be, and it's Hirakawa who's gone on to play in that right-sided number 10 position. He's a natural wide man. It's Sam Bell who's going to operate as a left wing-back.
This game is already opening up though. Colwell comes forward. Alves. Just wanted to drift across and get it on that right boot. There's no space, however. Rinomhota helps him out. O'Dowda. Almost fell straight at the feet of Alves after the ricochet of Finer.
Just having another quick look at the formations. It does look like they've actually changed to a back four, which they did do in the week against Stoke. See Hayden Roberts there, fills into that left back role, which he's very comfortable with doing so. McCrory comes into a right back, and then you've got Sam Bell, the left side of that midfield. Hirakawa playing his more natural position, wide right. And this is going to free up Anis Mehmeti to play that number 10 role. A lot of freedom to work behind Sinclair Armstrong leading the line.
Need to get it to them, however. At the moment, it's Cardiff putting on the early pressure. Mansverk tried to be unselfish to give it to Alves, and everybody else, I think, was buying the idea of the Norwegian midfielder having the go.
Yeah, Alves, for some reason, just stops his run because it was quite obvious that he was going to play the ball into that space. Mansverk, he was shaping up to shoot on his right foot. The space appeared down the side, but Alves has stopped making his run, and you can see why Mansverk was frustrated. You can see all that grass to run into, but he just stops, gets himself on his heels, and that allows Viner to come across and clear the danger.
Dowda. Mansverk. Teasing one that finds El Ghazi. Just hung himself in the air, got something on it, but couldn't get it down and on target.
Yeah, fabulous ball into the bot from Mansverk. I spoke so highly about him in the first half, but on this occasion he's the creator. He caresses a ball towards that back post. Just cuts in on his right foot, and El Ghazi, he's reading, he gets up and above. Hayden Roberts nice and early, but just can't get up and above the ball to head it downwards. Hayden Roberts' position is just enough to off-balance El Ghazi, and he can't get the ball on target. But it's been a bright start for this second half for both teams.
Just was slightly behind him, perhaps. El Ghazi was trying to reach his neck back around to get that ball on target. And then he got underneath it. Hirakawa. It's a lovely step by Alves. This is the sort of real estate he wants to roam in. Hirakawa trying to put some pressure on him. It's neatly laid off and straight into the hands of O'Leary as Robinson can only sting the palms of the keeper.
Yeah, dancing feet from Will Alves on this left-hand side. Little clip over the defender. Then he bursts into the space, picks out Robinson. He has an option to go wide towards El Ghazi, goes to the shot, but once again, like we said probably too many times in this game, it's too close to the goalkeeper, and Max O'Leary constantly can pat it down for himself to collect.
It's better though from both of these two. There's a real attacking impetus about Cardiff City. Just wonder if that caginess that we've seen in the first half is going to lead to this game opening up a lot more in the second period. There's already a lot more space in the midfield. Colwell allowed to almost back his man down the field. Rinomhota's brought down.
Yeah, both managers, I'm sure, at half-time would have gone in disappointed that they haven't really been able to make any sort of headway in that first half, but also both thinking they can go on and win this game. It's there for the taking.
El Ghazi just doing enough to put some pressure on Hayden Roberts there. Just that last challenge too was Ross McCrory. He's just got to be careful with that booking. That will surely have been noted by Tony Harrington. Shot being encouraged again as it's lifted into Robinson. Alves. The gap was there for half a moment. And then the door was slammed shut. Alves again, O'Dowda on the overlap. Unselfish this time, looking for El Ghazi. Robinson! It just never quite came down in time for him as he had to wait an age, Callum Robinson, for that to drop into an attackable position.
These Cardiff fans are sensing that there's an opportunity here for Cardiff to take the lead. Impressive so far in this second half, and it's Alves who delivers it to the back post. Once again, El Ghazi gets up and above Hayden Roberts nice and early, heads it back into a dangerous area, and then he's just waiting for it to come down. He does well to control the volley, not to cut underneath it too much to force it over the bar, but it's just the direction as he hooks it towards that far post. But Cardiff have been super impressive at the start of this second half.
Rob Dickie so quick to just get in the face of Robinson there, which made the angle all the more difficult to try and find the far corner. He sends it away. Rinomhota's underneath it, so is Armstrong. Hirakawa. Just a bit too much of the man taken in the end by the 27-year-old midfielder. Plenty that thought that Andy Rinomhota might be leaving Cardiff City at some point, particularly in the lead up to the January transfer window, but he has shown how important he is for this club, just having that versatility to step into whatever role is really needed in midfield or even in that defensive line at times. Hirakawa, too close to the goalkeeper. Rinomhota. Colwell. You just hear the buzz when he picks it up like that. The stadium hoping to see him move into space as he gives it to El Ghazi. There's another chance from a set piece here.
Yeah, clever run, clever ball. Worked it well out of defence, Cardiff. El Ghazi never gave it up, battled to the end, wrapped his foot around it, and manages to force himself to win the corner for his side.
Kutas lurking. G in there as well. It's not the best delivery by El Ghazi. It's the worst one he's had so far this afternoon, easily cleared by Hirakawa. That one comes off, and G just stifles the momentum. Ghazi and co can't work a way out of the situation. Hirakawa trying to make himself available off the ball. It's a lovely cut inside, and the substitute almost sent it into that bottom corner, but a fine stop from Jack Alnwick just keeps it out.
Yeah, best moment of the game, and it comes Bristol City's way. Strong running through the middle of the pitch from Jason Knight, just surveying all of his options, opts to go right in the end, and Hirakawa, O'Dowda thinks he wants to go on his right for a little drop of the shoulder, comes in on his left, that gives him half a yard, hits it back towards the near post, good strike, and it's a fabulous save from Jack Alnwick, it really is. His distribution of his weight will be going one way, gets back across the goal the other way, strong hand. That was Bristol City's best moment of the match, undoubtedly.
Ross McCrory just struggling. He was bundled over during that break. You may have just seen him in the bottom corner of your screen. He was just knocked down to the deck as he was crossing the halfway line. It meant he couldn't support Hirakawa. And he's just stayed down after that coming together. No surprise to see George Tanner just getting set to come on, with McCrory struggling and on a yellow card. Maybe the safer option for Liam Manning, just to bring on the replacement right back.
He knows, doesn't he, Ross McCrory? It's like a muscle strain. Really feel for footballers. Put so much effort into training every single day, into games, and an injury can take away that feeling of being able to play. I've been there many times, and I feel sorry for him as he walks off the pitch. He knows that he's probably going to be out for a few weeks off the back of it.
You know, he's had such a troubling 2 years, really, with the time out, with illness and bone infection as well in his career, and injuries this season as well. He missed a run of around about 8 games or so between November and December. I mean, you must feel, Ross McCrory, that he just can't get a break at some point. Tanner comes in. There's a corner in the meantime for Bristol City, in towards the near post. Second bite of the cherry for Bird, perhaps. This time O'Dowda in the way. Colwill. Shout for handball. Free kick. We haven't really seen yet, aside from that pass backwards just then. It's Anis Mehmeti being unlocked a bit more with this change, this reshuffle for Bristol City.
Yeah, he struggled to get into the game, hasn't he, Mehmeti? Can go through spells in a game like that, though, where he's on the fringes of it and then just sparks into life when he gets a moment. That's what he'll be hoping will happen, as well as manager Liam Manning. At this moment, they're just not keeping the ball for long enough, Bristol City, to find him in that space. You have to give a lot of credit to the Cardiff City midfield as well. Mansverk and Rinomhota really working hard to deny that space for him.
Space here, though. Colwill likes it on the left boot, similar to the one he scored when in the FA Cup against Stoke, and that wasn't too far away, Colwill.
I love that desire, though, from Ruben Colwill. As soon as he cuts back inside, you know he wants to get the shot away. He's had a couple of opportunities in the game where he hasn't taken that option, but finds that pocket of space, receives the ball so well, knows what's around him. Lovely little dummy to create himself some space away from Jason Knight as he chops back inside, and then it's all about contact, tries to whip it into that far post, strikes it well, but agonising for those Cardiff fans, just the wrong side of the post.
There was a fair bit of whip on that as well, the movement. I think just would have kept it out of the reach of Max O'Leary. Well, patience is a virtue, Dave, and the home fans and the away supporters as well have had to be a bit patient to get some meaningful efforts on goal. They're coming thick and fast now in the first 15 minutes of this second half. Another chance here with Hirakawa. Oh, it's a beautiful delivery. It's the opening goal. Jason Knight wheels away in celebration. Bristol City have the breakthrough just before the hour mark. And it's the super sub Yu Hirakawa who just put it on a plate. And I don't think there's a single footballer in the Sky Bet Championship that wouldn't be hitting the target from that sort of position. And Jason Knight happy to lead by example and fire it into the bottom corner off his head.
What a fabulous delivery into the box. That's what makes this goal. The substitute Hirakawa taking responsibility over Scott Twine, who was replaced, and he puts it into the most delicious area. Looks like Sinclair Armstrong at the top of the screen might be offside, but I'm not sure if Jason Knight is. And then he has the simplest of tasks. An absolute dream for an attacker to be running onto that unchallenged. And has all the time in the world to direct it down into that bottom corner. He executes the header extremely well. He wheels away in front of those rampaging Bristol City fans. They take the lead. They haven't been great so far, Bristol City, but they've got their goal. They've got themselves in front. And those fans believe a promotion push is on the cards.
Belated birthday gift for Knight, who was celebrating on Thursday, turning 24. I hope it wasn't a celebration with as much gusto as the one he's just shown there, as he certainly enjoyed that one. And now Cardiff, after doing a lot of the heavy lifting in terms of creating chances in this second half, have got to try and find a goal and get themselves back on level terms. Something they don't do too often as well in the Championship this season. When they've conceded the opening goal, they've only found a victory against Norwich back in November. Instead, there's plenty of space for Armstrong, and he's got support. A lot of willing runners, but he can't find any of them, just too far in front of Hirakawa.
The game's going to open up now, and this is where Sinclair Armstrong will come into his own. Finds that space on the left-hand side, but good positioning from Joel Bagan to clear his lines.
Well, maybe a bit of stability just needed. Aaron Ramsey getting set to come back on, hasn't played in the league since August against Middlesbrough. He returned in the FA Cup encounter in the 4th round last weekend against Stoke, so he replaces Andy Rinomhota. Be welcomed back with open arms, of course, by the supporters and his teammates after struggling through injury, but there's a job now for he and his side to do. How important can he be in terms of helping to generate some chances for Cardiff? Well smothered. Robinson making the run down the middle. Colwell is juking and jiving and finding that space. Somehow Hukum Barik-Kruk. Manswerk. It's getting even better here. El Ghazi. Robinson. Decided against hitting it first time and instead looked to take a touch. Showed enough of it to the likes of Hirakawa to suddenly release Bristol City on the counter-attack. And look at the fresh legs of Sam Bell working hard. Working a little too hard, but he's able to keep possession. Mehmeti, he only needs a moment as he finds Armstrong instead, and it deflects away behind for a corner.
End-to-end stuff. Fascinating tempo to the football match now. Cardiff had a good opportunity there to put a delivery into the box. There's a loose touch from Robertson, and then just look how quickly Bristol City are in that transition, in particular Sam Bell. We know he has that pace, recovers his footing reasonably well there, and it works its way to Mehmeti, and Sinclair Armstrong just trying to guide it in that far post. In reality, it was going quite close to the goalkeeper, but Gutas wasn't to know that. And now an opportunity for Hirakawa to show his quality in these set-piece situations.
Same again, please, if you're a Bristol City forward waiting inside the box, as it's not quite the same from Hirakawa. Support up this line being provided by Tanner. It's not going to matter anyway because the goal scorer is knocked down.
Manswerk needs to be careful as well. He's another player who's on a booking. It's a bit too forceful there. Gives away the foul, and then just needs to be careful with his reaction to the linesman.
Knight up there with Zach Viner. And his way up from the back. Dickey too. Hirakawa has just moved Max Bird away from set-piece duties. Not a bad ball into that near post, plenty of pace on it. Straight out of play by Callum O'Dowda. Just keeps Cardiff on the back foot slightly. Look at the room on the far side of the field if the flag's going to stay down here, which it's not.
There's a fabulous pass from Rob Dickey. How good he is on the ball, driving out of defence, and he sees that long raking pass, and it's poor really from Hayden Roberts. He doesn't manage to stay onside. This Cardiff City team, who started that second half so well, gone behind against the run of play, they need to find something now, because since the goal they haven't really been able to move their way into Bristol City's territory on too many occasions.
Giving away possession clumsily, and O'Dowda's just had a little bit of afters there on Hirakawa.
Hirakawa just tries a little dragon Cruyff to get away, and O'Dowda doesn't go for it, stands strong.
Given away by Tanner. Colwill. Upended this time, no free kick. Armstrong. Mehmeti. Does get the shot off, but it can't get between three Cardiff defenders. Kutas standing his ground. El Ghazi can't work his way out. Here's Ramsey. And that's what you want Aaron Ramsey to do in those situations. Just bring some calmer heads in as G just has it run underneath him. Didn't take it with him enough. He's asking a lot there from Hirakawa. Slightly behind the intended target. Bagan has just got Sam Bell pushing in front of him. Doesn't like Bell is staying a little more central, perhaps, than Mehmeti, who's just drifted off to that left side. Those two almost rotating in and out of those positions a touch. Whatever it is, it's working right now for Bristol City. Mansverk. Colwill. Gave the give, didn't go for the go, as El Ghazi was expecting the run.
Yeah, Aaron Ramsey's come on and he's acting as a deep liar, trying to get Cardiff City playing. I do think that is a role that Mansverk can still keep doing, and then can you find Aaron Ramsey on the ball just a little bit higher up the pitch, because he has that quality to unlock the Bristol City defence, but at the moment he's taking on the load of trying to get Cardiff City playing, receiving off the back four and building forward. As the game goes on, you want to see Cardiff City's number 10 higher up the pitch.
Mansverk trying to get down to work. Colwill. O'Dowda has to work his way backwards rather than going forward and inside. Ramsey gets it under control. Not too many inside the stadium happy with the ball from Goutas to him. Well worked to Manswerk. Ramsey, space on the edge of the box. That would have been the dream return to league action for Cardiff City talisman, but he just never got the angles right. His changes are going to come. Yusuf Salek was on the score sheet, of course, in the FA Cup last weekend. He was looking to add another goal to his tally for his new club. Chris Willett also getting set to come on, a former Queen's Park Rangers player.
Well, in Yusuf Salek, they've got a bit more of a focal point, in particular from wide areas. They're hoping to get some deliveries in the box from Chris Willock and Will Alves now. Salek can be competing. Ruben Colwell can start to use his physicality as well. Need to get more bodies in the box.
Nahki Wells will come on for Sinclair Armstrong. He's done the running when he's been given the chance to do it. As the experienced forward comes in to replace him, just to see out those proceedings and perhaps just snatch another to give the Robins that 2-goal cushion. Willock just about keeps it in and gets it back from his fellow substitute. Deep ball, almost just looking for the space rather than an intended target. Colwell can't get it under. Mehmeti straight to Ng. Played by Ng, but just can't keep possession for his side. Interesting that Will Alves has gone out to that right flank and Willock on the left now.
Yeah, Willock more naturally likes to play on this left-hand side. We've seen him numerous occasions be able to cut inside on that right foot and score plenty of goals, and that's what Omar Risley hoping will happen for Alves, who's maybe not had the impact he would have wanted, but he's been very tidy in possession, used the ball extremely well. Maybe on this right-hand side he can start to put a few deliveries into the box, especially with that man leading the line now already. He's won 2 or 3 headers.
No rush from Max O'Leary, however. Route 1 up towards Wells. It could bounce anywhere, and it bounces right to Sam Bell. It's all been untidy defensively, but Cardiff just about do enough here with Ramsey. Experience just coming through there from Rob Dickie.
There's that moment for Aaron Ramsey, lovely little ball inside, trying to open his body out, leans back at the vital moment. A little spell there where Aaron Ramsey, Ruben Colwell and Manswerk linking up extremely well, quick passes, and that's what finds a little bit of space for the Welsh international.
It's a good touch that by Bell. Hirakawa. Tanner. No problems going back to the halfway line now when you've got this advantage, so no need to force it and give away possession. Roberts lifts it in. Very good control by Mehmeti. He's losing his balance slightly though, almost losing possession. Wells can't keep it moving. Roberts into the box, and it's wide of the target from Bell. So close to goal, but never got the angles correct with the header.
It's such a clever little ball back into the box. See, lovely touch from Mehmeti, trying to get that half a yard, desperately trying to shift it onto that right foot. It looks like the moment's gone. Nahki Wells, sort of loose ball, ends up with Hayden Roberts, who just hangs a delicious ball into the back post. And once again, it's just a little bit behind Sam Bell. Callum O'Dowda's position is excellent. He just does enough to put off the youngster, and it's a header high and wide. I do feel Bristol City are going to have more of these moments.
Definitely got the pace on display right now as Hirakawa comes flying into shot to collect that ball. There's some space at the other way for Colwill. Alves. Towards the centre forward, Salic can't get to it. There's an air of frustration coming from the home supporters about the lack of movement to get onto that second ball, perhaps, as Ramsey comes all the way back. Alves turning away from trouble. Willock weaving away. Oh, how about that for a late break, and punched away by O'Leary, importantly. Colwill just stealing in suddenly, coming from a little deeper and almost got to it. Here he is now. Alves, he's got to keep it in.
He's so good at getting that half a yard, isn't he, Will Alves? Tricky feet, lots of fakes. Once again gets a half a yard, just his delivery at the moment. He's not beating the first man. Another opportunity now.
Room to send it in from as well, but it finds the head of Dickey. Cleared out to the penalty area. Colwill just keeps coming away with possession, Ruben Colwill, in some of these moments. Ramsey calling for it and sets. Mansverk's header is always struggling to get the power into it, straight to the goalkeeper as well.
Good spell of pressure from Cardiff though, lots of deliveries into the box. This is what they're going to need to keep on doing and commit bodies forward as well. They might not win the first one, but if there's bodies landing on those second balls, there will be opportunities to be had. It's Mansverk who breaks from midfield and gets on the end of Aaron Ramsey's cross, but it's a long way out. Can't really get any power on the header.
Big games coming up on the horizon as well for Cardiff City, down towards the bottom of the table, with Plymouth, who've just had a little revival of sorts recently, and Hull City on the horizon. And tough run against Burnley and Sunderland. There's an important few weeks coming up for the Bluebirds towards this latter part of the season. Finding at least a share of the spoils here. A big motivational boost, particularly if they can steal a point late on away from their rivals. Of course, we had an equaliser around about now when these two sides last met in the league. Bristol City, who found it through Luke McNally late on. Willock can't get there. Corner. Safety first from Tanner.
Super wing play again from Will Alves. Looking to get that cross away. Stops and goes again. That again gives him the half a yard, and this time hangs it towards the back post. Tanner was always in control of it. Willock was a little bit on his heels. Wasn't attacking the ball, but more impressive play down that right-hand side from the youngster.
Groans immediately after the connection from Ramsey. Back forward by Bagan. And G. Colwill. Again, just stepping away from Knight. Set up by Salic, but nobody there. Onto the nod down. Wells. Mehmeti just knocked off the ball. O'Dowda collects. Willock. Tracking back by Hirakawa, and even better just to shepherd that one out of play.
Good defending from Hirakawa. Ends up giving away that corner, but does really well to stop Chris Willock running at him initially.
Change coming then as Mansverk is going to make his way off.
He's had a really good game, Mansverk. We spoke a lot about him in the first half, but he's got on the ball so much for Cardiff. Progressive passing, terrific 80 minutes from him.
Keane Ashford will wait after coming on to maybe see what spoils come his way on the edge of the area. It's a more attacking player, that's for sure. It may have even been off a defender's head, as Perry and Chi was the one closest to it, but it bounced straight towards O'Leary again. He's just been a magnet for the ball today, the Bristol City keeper. It's a good bit of distribution up to Mehmeti as well.
Yeah, he set himself, Max O'Leary, grounded his feet quickly and have been delighted just to see the ball pop up towards his chest. Good ball from Aaron Ramsey. So he just catches Nahki Wells, and he'd have been delighted to see it go straight towards his goalkeeper.
George Earthy coming on for Anis Mehmeti. After the 2 goals in midweek, there was a fair bit of expectation that maybe another super streak was coming for him. Still having the best goal-scoring league season of his career. So he's replaced by the young man George Earthy. Some fresh legs for the West Ham Academy loanee. Too much in the way of Max Bird. Colwill. Great balance, and the defenders are just bouncing off him at times. Continues the charge. Again, it's O'Leary's just about able to collect, as if coming together with Viner is more of a problem than anything else, and he's going down holding his head now, the goalkeeper.
It's a lovely run again from Ruben Colwill. He's another one who's had a good game in that midfield area, lovely balance. As Ashley just tried to whip a ball in, and Aaron Ramsey just shoves Viner in the back and forces him into O'Leary. Aaron Ramsey actually made a really good run initially, and then Keane Asher cut back, and then Aaron Ramsey's momentum was killed. He was never getting to that second ball into the box.
Free kick given against Wells there. Just drifted into an offside position as that ball came forward, and it's a needless way to give Cardiff City possession back. Bagan. Ramsey looking for that crossfield ball. Just waiting for that roar of the home supporters to help try and spur on this Cardiff side late on here. Their expectations just being dampened slightly, as I don't even know if Ramsey was aware of that pass coming his way. He's making the run off the ball. Colwill instead. Ramsey. O'Dowda. Colwill sees that gap that he likes to try and take to get towards the edge of the penalty area. Wells. Hirakawa making the run off the ball. How much energy is left in the tank of Dimitrios Goutas is just about enough, although he's given it away. Get the feeling both Hirakawa and Gutas both thought, really, you're going to put it there into that space from Wells when he played that in behind. There was a long old chase for both of them.
And the fresh legs of Hirakawa maybe just gave him the edge.
And it quick off his line to deal with it. It's not cleared away just yet. Earthy. Around the corner, Wells waiting, and just one mistake at that near post away from it falling straight to the centre forward for an easy tap-in.
Yeah, such a clever run from Nahki Wells. Looks like he's going to go front post, and as soon as Bagan makes that move, he drifts off his shoulder, and if the ball's quick across the floor, he'd have the simplest of tasks of tapping it in. In the end, Jack Anik has good positioning and gathers the ball extremely well.
Every player back behind the ball now for the Robins. Dowder and the substitute Ashford not on the same wavelength. Here's Ashford again. It's all being kept almost at arm's length right now for Cardiff City. Can't get into that real aggressive part of the attacking third. Bagan can't find a way over the top. Alves. Sky high by NG. Dowder trying to get there, headed behind by Tanner.
Yeah, not the best cross from Perry NG, hangs it in the air, but it's a difficult one for Tanner. Has to watch the boy, knows Callum O'Dowd is going to be closing him down. He can't take any chances, heads it out for a corner.
Straight to the edge of the area. Alves. Fancies the shot. Just perhaps not enough mustard on it to really cause a problem for O'Leary.
He's just travelling away from the goal, which really restricted what sort of power he could get on his shot, and it's comfortable again for Max O'Leary.
If it stays this way, the solid home form, beaten their last 4 here at the Cardiff City Stadium, it's going to come to an end.
He will not want 3 losses in the league back-to-back either. You know, teams around him will pick up points.
Last time they went this long with this many defeats was actually the beginning of the start of the season. They had that torrid 7-game winless start to the campaign with 6 losses in that, including a 4-game losing streak. Touched on how they're very much all or nothing when it comes to the form, but Cardiff fans will hope that this isn't another run of nothing that's on the cards right now. We'll just dig them in a hole down towards the bottom 3 in the championship table. Alves. With Deloney again. Goes all the way round before sending the ball into the box. Almost felt like tired legs though as he struck that. Wells on the chase. Gutas again just having to get his skates on. 90 seconds to go, plus any stoppage time. Getting towards now or never for Cardiff City. Can't be fed into the feet of Alves, who just made that run, but Ashford unable to connect with him.
It was a clever run from that inside channel from Alves, just an overhit pass. Takes momentum out of Cardiff's attack. Now Bristol City going to take as much time as possible. Cardiff are disappointed they haven't been able to create anything of any note really since Bristol City took the lead. And Bristol City have been comfortable and impressive in the second half.
They've had their moments where you thought they were going to add another couple more goals just to the tally to ensure this will be an easier victory than the one that at the moment looks on the cards. Never say never in terms of late goals in the Championship though. Dowda to Ramsey. That's a better pass. Ashford across goal. Salek's there, and there is the late goal. The 90th minute. Cardiff City find their equaliser and dash the hopes, perhaps, of Bristol City working their way into the top 6 this weekend. And it's the centre-forward substitute that just had to reach out a leg and add to his already impressive tally at his new club.
Cardiff City will feel like they've deserved to get this goal. They've kept going and they've kept going. They haven't created too much, but it's the 2 substitutes who link together. Well, 3, including Aaron Ramsey, with a clever little ball into the channel. And the ball from Kian Ashford is fantastic. It really is. Across the corridor of uncertainty. Hayden Roberts doesn't quite know where he is. And Salek shows lots of tenacity to make sure he's on the end of the cross. Dives in, wraps his right foot around and gets a goal, to the jubilation of these Cardiff fans. And it could be an all-important goal in their survival quest.
5 minutes of stoppage time to play. We've already had a minute of that. Is momentum suddenly in the Bluebirds' favour? Oh, that's a great pass again. Willock, desperate to try and find that pullback. Ashford couldn't quite get to it. Aaron Ramsey is cutting open this Bristol City defence like a hot knife through butter.
We said at half-time, didn't we, when the first half really lacked that attacking quality, we said he may be the man who makes a difference. And he played a big part in that goal, and now he is pulling the strings.
Ramsey up to the goal scorer, who's being pulled down as he then lunges in for that. It's not a good challenge, is it? 3 goals in 7 games now since arriving in January. Cost a pretty penny as well for the club, around about £4 million or so. Oh, it's back to his more animated self down there on the touchline. There's still time for one of these sides to find a winner. Don't count anybody out of it now. Hirakawa. He's taken a nasty knock there. He tried to find a way out of 3 defenders, and it was a rock and a couple of other hard places. This is going to be an important set piece. You need to deal with this Cardiff's defence as quickly as possible. Hirakawa sends it in. Anik fumbling at it. He's under pressure from Wells. Colwill. Is there one last chance left in the tank? Ramsey. Willock. O'Dowda wants it inside. Willock waiting before sending it. One's going to be easily cleared away, although Ramsey almost got it straight away. Ramsey trying something outrageous to find Alves. Steered away to safety.
Omar Reza does deserve some credit. He's gone to the bench, he's made lots of attacking changes, bringing on the likes of Willock, Ashford, Salek and Ramsey to try and make a difference. And 3 of them are combined for that equaliser. justified by making those brave decisions to try and get back into the game, leaving themselves a little bit open at times.
Given away by Ramsey. Hirakawa might have the final sting in the tail here. Wells! Superb block by Joel Bagan. That was important.
And Nahki Wells is the man they would have wanted on the end of that chance, and a sliding tackle from Bagan. As I was just saying, those attacking changes from Omar Risa to get back into the game just means they are a little bit open. Hirakawa, who's been excellent in this second half, always going away from goal, Nahki Wells, which makes it difficult.
Last chance saloon. Time called at the bar as Bird sends it in. It's an aimless header that's easy for Alnwick to collect, and suddenly Cardiff trying to push forward, but it's not going to matter. Time is up here at the Cardiff City Stadium. It's even Stevens and a share of the spoils. It doesn't really help the grand scheme of things for either Cardiff City or Bristol City. It doesn't move the Bluebirds away from the battle at the bottom, and it certainly doesn't give Bristol City the opportunity to work their way into the top six this weekend. What it does is it shows the resilience and grit and the changes that Omar Risa was able to make from the touchline today after serving his 3-game ban that had a big twist in the equation this afternoon after Jason Knight opened the scoring for the visitors on 60 minutes. But Yusuf Salek with yet another goal for his new side, finding a late equaliser, and then it was a nervy 5 minutes of stoppage time as both sides went looking for a winner. But it will be a point apiece, and perhaps Cardiff City fans just a bit happier at least that the losing run in the Sky Bet Championship has come to an end. The final score here at the Cardiff City Stadium finishes Cardiff 1, Bristol City 1.